The normal Apple and Google pricing suggestions, pricing conversions for other countries are bad. I did a lot of competitive research and top apps that have the volume and have the research, and found a bunch of high level guidance for how you should price your apps. Took all these apps, looked at their price points in a bunch of different countries, put it onto a spreadsheet, and then you're building an index, really, is what you're doing.
This is conversion to US. Oh, okay. So you said, hey, this is 49. So it's a little bit less. So UK is about 90% of the US. And then France is
R-
about
Right. And
80%.
so,
This is all just US is the denominator.
right. So US is the main point. And so
Okay.
I'm starting with my US price points. I have the highest volume there. I've
Yep.
done real price testing and real A/B testing to optimize that US price point. So I
Got it.
know that price point I feel good about. So I'm not going to convert based on there. And then also, like, US is often your largest market anyway, kind
Yep.
of highest ceiling. And so it makes sense to start there. And then, kind of based on those conversion rates, I found from all these top apps a number of different categories what they're doing and kind of built this index out. And so you can see the real difference in Apple's pricing.
Mm,
So Apple suggests that you should be about 26% higher than the US dollar. And so this is saying that based on the conversion rate and based on Apple's pricing. So Apple, I think, actually says like the price point should be like 1 to 1. So if your app is 59.99, the pound should also be 59.99. Well,
mhm.
the pound is worth a lot more. And so it ends up being much more expensive. And so really, based on my suggestions, most top apps are actually pricing their UK price about 10% lower and their Euro price about 15% lower. Some apps will price Germany a little higher just because the purchasing power is a bit higher. Apple's pricing is just saying if you have 59.99 in US dollar, make it 59.99 Canadian. But really, the purchasing power between Canada and the US is very similar. And so your Canadian price point should actually be the same in terms of dollars. If it's 59.99 US, it should be like 89.99 Canadian because of that purchasing power. Make your app much more localized and have the price points feel much better. There's probably markets and countries that you're converting really poorly. A lot of times you're just pricing completely wrong. So a lot of times adjusting those prices down can actually generate meaningfully more volume to account for the lower price point.
A friend of mine increased his US pricing from 20, which is for years, and he increased it to 30 and he saw an increase in conversions, Jacob, because of the higher price point. But when you put that 30 into like Australia or UK, the way that Apple does it, it's like a not a rounded number. So like let's say that turns into, I don't know, as an example, 32.99 in pounds, right? But we found what he found was having a rounded number, 29.99 pounds, converted better than 32.99 pounds. So don't always go with whatever the Apple calculation is, because Apple is just doing what's best for them. It's just a math formula. Definitely do what Jacob said.
An example of kind of finding your category industry specific competitors where, Calm and Headspace, the biggest players, they're
Right.
global. Go find their price points, and then yeah, go pick your top countries and your top markets where you're seeing the most volume right now. You're not going to be able to do this manual research for 100 countries, but like 15 to 20 is doable. And then you can pull those price points and then kind of create your kind of quick index. Yeah, so you kind of go into the app store, record those prices, and yeah, like if your competitors have a web subscription, you can
Yeah, I
do
love that.
this a lot faster just using a VPN, but you should use this as one data point. Typically, your web subscription pricing should be different than your app store pricing because the conversion different. Take your US price point, simple math, just divide it, and then you have your index, your multiplier to figure out what you should adjust your US price point to. And so this isn't taking account into like the dollar conversion rates or currency conversion rates. It's just numbers to numbers. Okay, for my US price point is 69.99 for the meditation app. This is Calm prices specifically and
Jacob, so this is the calm prices in these countries,
in
is
the
what you
local
did, right?
currencies.
And then
Correct.
this is how you figure out the index of whatever you're trying to price. You can sort of either take the same pricing or make your own index out of it too.